It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Sportsnet LA presents the Dodgers as they take on the San Francisco Giants. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be. Here we go again, Game 2 of the three-game series. Dodgers winning last night in 14, so they've won 4 of the 7 played here at Dodger Stadium. However, the Giants have won all 6 played up north at AT&T Park. Giants hurting physically and otherwise without Hunter Pence and Joe Panik. They do get Angel Pagan back tonight, and for the Giants, they could use some help. They've lost 3 straight. 6 out of 9 and 9 of 12. And the help, well, it will be Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner 16 and 6. He's had a magnificent August. He is 5-0 in August and an earned run average of 1.4. He has beaten the Dodgers twice this year, going up against Kershaw each time, and he is 13 and 5 lifetime. Dodgers answer big time again with Zach Greinke. He is 14 and 3. He is 5-0 at Dodger Stadium in his last 6 starts. Interesting thing about Greinke, no Greinke team has ever lost to the Giants. Greinke in 7 starts as a Dodger is 6-0 against San Francisco. One other note, last night's ball game lasting 5:29. Not too long ago, 1989, Dodgers played 22 innings in Houston, 7 hours and 14 minutes, and lost, and came right back and played 13 more innings on Sunday. We'll come to the ball game and a whole lot more coming up right after this. Wherever you may be, welcome to Dodger Stadium, Game 2 of the 3-game series with the Giants. And, of course, following this one, there'll still be 5 left, 1 more here, and 4 straight. The last series with the Giants begins on the 28th of September. Should be a dandy ball game tonight. Zach Greinke going up against Madison Bumgarner. It's like 2 all-stars banging heads. And, of course, you have quite a manager, a 3-time world champion skipper, including last year when he piloted a wild-card Giant team to win it all. Welcome back to Angel Pagan, who means a great deal to the Giants, along with Hunter Pence. At least they get Pagan back, and they think they will get second baseman Joe Panik back next week. As far as Hunter Pence is concerned, the jury is still out on that. Here is Bruce Bochy's lineup as standing by the railing, hands folded almost in prayer as Hunter Pence awaits the start of the game. It's Angel Pagan, followed by Matt Duffy at third, Brandon Belt at first, and Buster Posey, after catching 14 innings last night, is right back behind the plate tonight. Marlon Byrd, the newcomer, who has certainly found a home with the Giants, tuning up at the base of the steps in the dugout. Marlon will be in right field. Newcomer Alejandro Diaz. He came over to the Giants last night, and interestingly enough, Alejandro originally was signed by the Dodgers. Kelby Tomlinson at second base, replacing Joe Panik. The pitcher bats 8th. That's Madison Bumgarner. Ere Adrenaza will be batting 9th. So Zach Greinke, who is 26-7 against the Western Division. He is 28-10 in the month of September. He takes the mound with a record of 14-3, 1-0 against the Giants this year, and 6-0 lifetime. So Greinke about ready from the first base side of the rubber, and the pitch to Angel Pagan in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Pagan hitting .258, but .307 right-handed. He's had a bad back and activated today, and they really missed him. Strike 1 pitch on the way, change up in there for a strike, and the count 0-2. It is a beautiful evening in the ballpark, 74 degrees as we move into September. No balls and 2 strikes. Greinke over the top fastball, and that's fouled back, and the count no balls and 2 strikes. For the Giants, they are struggling. They've lost 3 in a row, 6 out of 9, 9 of 12. Bochy's club not only trailing the Dodgers by 4.5, they're trailing the Cubs for the second wild card. They're 5.5 behind Chicago. The next pitch hit foul off third, drifting towards the stands and out of play. 0-2 the count. Last night we had 40,800 and some odd, 851. Looks like we have a larger crowd tonight, maybe waiting for this contest between Bumgarner and Greinke. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Clayton Kershaw and Mike Leake. The next pitch off the plate, 1-2 the count to Angel Pagan. Greinke, that remarkable 14-3 record, heaves a little sigh. Now turns, comes back 1-2, and it drops away. A fastball. 2-2 the count. Angel Pagan reinstated off the DL today. He missed 20 games, right patella tendonitis. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way. Switch hitter waiting. Greinke delivers. Ground ball to first. Charging it. Gonzalez picks it up, goes to the bag, and just like that, one away. So Angel Pagan grounds out. We can take a look at the Dodgers with the leather, and they shape up Gonzalez, Peraza, the second baseman, Rollins and Turner, and the outfield, Justin Ruggiano. The Dodgers picked him up last night. He's in left field. Jock Peterson, Van Slyke in right, Ellis behind the plate. Justin Ruggiano, who has played for several ball clubs, but originally signed by the Dodgers back in 2004. More about him a little later. Now with one away, the pitch in for a strike to Matt Duffy. Matt Duffy is a remarkable young ball player. I mean, he's tall and skinny, maybe 170 pounds, and putting up huge numbers. Batting .302. He has 10 home runs. Swings, comes up empty, and the count 0-2. Matt's from Long Beach. Went to Long Beach State. He's really a clutch hitter. .373 with runners in scoring position, and in the pressure spot with 2 out, hitting .383. Matt takes in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Duffy had a very good minor league record. Coming off the last road trip, and it's been a tough one for the Giants, he hit .364 and hit safely in 9 of those 10 road games. 1-2 pitch. Duffy goes after it, fouls it away, and the count remains 1-2. So he's right up there, believe it or not, with Buster Posey. And of course, everybody first saw Matt Duffy and they thought, yeah, pretty good hands, but no power, not much of a bat. Well, he has made a complete turnaround, and he's a great young player. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Greinke delivers, swung on and missed. Good hard pitch down and away. So 2 down in the first inning, and the left-hand batting Brandon Belt coming up. Greinke keeping the slider down and off the plate, and chasing it is Duffy, and down he goes. Brandon Belt is one of those fellas who, when he hits the ball, he hits it hard. They say about 40% of his batted balls are line drives, but he also comes up empty and strikes out a bit. 17 home runs, and the left-hand batter takes away ball 1, 1-0. Belt last night started off with a double in the first inning, single in the third inning, and then went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Very aggressive hitter. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed. 1-1. As aggressive as he is, he's 4th highest in taking called third strikes. He's also a big man with 37 RBIs on the road. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Belt fouls that back. 1-2. The only thing the Dodgers do, they don't load up the right side of the infield, but they send Jose Peraza out about 15 feet at least in shallow right field. Belt dangerous with 2 strikes. 8 of his home runs come with 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled back. Waiting his turn on deck, Buster Posey. Boy, I tell you have to give your hat off to Buster Posey. 14 long innings behind the plate last night, and right back today to catch. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Greinke delivers, change low, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Greinke and Belt going head to head. Far as Brandon Belt is concerned, he has 1 home run against Greinke and hitting .286. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Greinke delivers, and it's fouled away off to the left. Still 2-2 to the big boy from Texas, Brandon Belt. Greinke deep in thought, head down in fact, brings his hands together, then lifts his head, looks in to get a sign. Pretty much on the first base side of the rubber, and the 2-2 pitch, he bounces it for ball 3. 3-2 the count to Zach Greinke. Greinke 6-0 lifetime against the Giants. 5-0 in his last 6 starts here at Dodger Stadium. 3-2 pitch on the way. Greinke deals, little ground ball to the right side. Peraza on the grass makes the play, and that's it. Giants go 1-2-3. Greinke walks off, and at the end of half an inning, Giants nothing, Dodgers coming up. One did make 20 pitches. Let's take a look now at the Dodger lineup, a lineup that has helped the Dodgers get to be 4.5 games in front. Jimmy Rollins leading it off. Jose Peraza, the rookie, at second base. Justin Turner at third. Adrian Gonzalez hits cleanup at first. Scott Van Slyke is in right field. Justin Ruggiano in left. A.J. Ellis, the catcher. Zach Greinke bats eighth, so both pitchers bat eighth in the lineup, and Peterson will follow Greinke. Madison Bumgarner, as big and as impressive as any pitcher in the game. He is 6'5", 235 pounds, and with all of that, he is 26 years old, a first-round pick back in 2007. For Madison Bumgarner, he's pitching on 5 days rest. His record, 9-3 on 5 days. An interesting sidebar of the battle tonight. Madison Bumgarner against opposing pitchers. They're hitting 0 for 43. Zach Greinke against opposing pitchers. They're hitting 0 for 42. Bumgarner, meanwhile, has 5 home runs, and Greinke has 2. So here we go. Jimmy Rollins batting right-handed. Bumgarner ready, delivers in a chopper foul outside of third, and the count 0-1. Jimmy Rollins hitting just 167 against Madison Bumgarner. Buster Posey has caught every inning when Bumgarner works. Now the strike one pitch on the way. Bumgarner's fastball is whacked down the left field line, foul, and way back in the lower deck. 0-2 the count. Madison Bumgarner is very effective in the daytime. He has 7 wins and only 1 loss. So that would make him 9-5 at night. Strike 2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball low. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Bumgarner, an amazing pitcher. And of course, if you look at the World Series last year, it takes your breath away. The lowest ERA in the World Series with 20 innings or more. In 36 innings last year, 0.25. 1-2 pitch on the way. Rollins takes again on a check swing for strike 3, and down he goes. So 1 away, we can set the Giants defensively. Brandon Belt and Kelby Tomlinson on the right side. Adrianza and Duffy on the left. Diaza in left. Pagan in center. Bird in right. Posey behind the plate. And Bumgarner on the mound. So here is Jose Peraza with 3 stolen bases. He impresses Davey Lopes, and that's good enough for anybody. He hits a ground ball to short. Adrianza easily on it and throws him out. So 2 down here in the first inning. Bumgarner ready to work now against Justin Turner. Justin Turner on his bobblehead night, and it's a great one with that wonderful red beard and red hair dangling down behind the helmet. Yeah, we had somebody write in or call in maybe a couple of weeks ago referring to him as the Ginger Man. Well, he certainly got the hair for it, and that little guy, little youngster, has his bobblehead. First pitch to Justin, and he raises that left leg and then looks at an off-speed pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Turner batting .294. He does have 2 home runs against Bumgarner. Madison standing almost sideways. Strike 1 pitch on the way. He flips it in with that long, easy delivery. 0-2 the count. So many pitchers look like it is hard work. Not Bumgarner. He just seems to extend the left arm and flip it up to the plate. His strike 2 pitch on the way is a bounce pitch. 1-2 the count. We were talking a moment ago about Madison Bumgarner and the fact what he does on 5 days rest. I was told, and I assume it's correct, Dizzy Dean, the great pitcher with the Cardinals, he pitched on 1 day's rest 10 times. Those were the old days. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way. Bumgarner delivers, drops a slider low, and the count 2-2. So if you pitch on 1 day's rest, that means there's no idea of a holder, and the guy who passes the ball, and then a closer. Not in those days. And not even back in Sandy Koufax's time. I mean, he'd complete 28 games. 2-2 the count. Turner waiting. Bumgarner ready. Fastball swung on and fouled into the dirt. So Justin's still up there. 2-2. Nice look at Bumgarner. He's already halfway in a stretch. Raises the right leg. Full extension. And then 3/4 delivery. When he first extends the arm, you think, well, maybe it's going to be sidearm. But then he brings it up. So 2-2 the count to Justin Turner. 2 down, first inning, no score. Bumgarner's fastball is swung on. The tag at the plate as Posey comes up with it, and that will do it. 2 strikeouts for Bumgarner. Dodgers go in order, and at the end of an inning, it shapes up the way it looked to be. No score. Ball game, a great contrast. 2 youngsters, maybe 10 years old, 9 years old. One is a Dodger fan, just jumping up and down. He's as happy as can be. The little Giant fan, they've already won 3 World Series, so he's calm and cool, and he is eating his nachos. So what a contrast in those two. Wonderful to see them. And the thought is, of course, they will stay that way probably all their lives, one rooting for the Dodgers and the other for the Giants. Meanwhile, second inning, and Iron Man Buster Posey checking in. Posey hitting .321, has good numbers, hitting .333 against Zach Greinke. So the right-handed Posey waits. 1-0 pitch is pulled on the ground to third. Tricky hop, high throw, and that takes Gonzalez off the bag. That was a very tough play for Justin Turner. At the last moment, the ball that was hugging the chalk suddenly veered on him, and he was already committed, having to make the off-balance throw, and it got away. So Posey is safely aboard. A tough chance. Usually it'll be a hit, and that's what they flash. The basic guide, if it takes a good play to get the batter out and he can't make it, it's a base hit. So Posey is aboard, infield single, and the batter now is Marlon Byrd. Marlon Byrd having a ball, 14 RBIs in his 5 games with the Giants. Fouls it back, and the count 0-1. Marlon, who was last here with Cincinnati not too long ago, comes right back now in a Giant uniform. Started off with the Giants against the Cardinals and hit a grand slam against Michael Wacha. So he was welcomed with open arms. Strike one pitch on the way. Marlin takes low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bird last night had a single and a double. He was also hit by a pitch. His single was one of those lucky, and he'd be the first one to hit it. Little ground ball to the hole on the right side. Chase Utley had to go almost from Pasadena back to get it. Couldn't do it. And 2 runs scored. Bird swings, doesn't get it. And the count 1-2. Following Bird is the newest Giant, Alejandro De Aza. Greinke set, looks over at first, comes back to his hitter, golfed at and missed. So down goes Bird. Second strikeout for Zach Greinke. And now here's Alejandro De Aza, who was originally drafted by the Dodgers back in 2001. He's from the Dominican Republic. Went into the Dodger organization but surfaced with the Marlins in 2007. Then he went over to the American League and played for the White Sox, the Orioles, and was with the Red Sox when the Giants acquired him. Throw to first, Posey back on the bag. De Aza, in looking at his career, had one big year. That would be 2013. He had 17 home runs for the White Sox. Otherwise, he's not that kind of a hitter. Left-hand batter takes a strike. He's an even 6, 190, 31 years old, and left-handed all the way. Hard worker, referred to as off the charts. He works so hard. Posey, short lead at first. The next one to De Aza, he's jammed, ground ball but foul. It started and apparently hit him on the foot before it rolled over to Adrian Gonzalez. 0-2 the count to Alejandro De Aza. The Marlins took Alejandro away from the Dodgers in the Rule 5 draft, and it got him not so much on the foot as on the knee. 0-2 the count. Interesting note about De Aza, if we can get it in before the pitch down and away. Baseball Reference has double play data since 1939. Only 2 players have ever had more plate appearances in a year without ever grounding into a double play. Craig Biggio of Houston, the Hall of Famer. He went 744 plate appearances without hitting into a double play. The next pitch outside, 2-2. The Tigers' Dick McAuliffe went 658 plate appearances. De Aza had a pretty good stretch. He went without a double play 571 plate appearances. 2-2 the count. The pitch to him is swung on, little fly ball, shallow center. Peterson is right there to make the catch. So we have 2 down, and Kelby Tomlinson coming up.
Second baseman number 37, Kelby Tomlinson.
Kelby Tomlinson got a break when Joe Panik came down with a sore back, and Tomlinson certainly has done everything you would ask of him, hitting .328 out of Oklahoma. Two down, second inning, no score. Greinke very careful. Posey at first, slips the first one low. 1 ball and no strike to Kelby Tomlinson. Posey over at first base doesn't do much running. In fact, he didn't have a stolen base last year. Pitch is popped up into shallow right center. A trio of Dodgers, and it's going to be dropped by the second baseman Peraza, who then throws the ball back to the plate. There was really no reason, but you know, rookies want everything they can to impress. But there was no reason for Peraza to make a play. You had Peterson coming in easily. You also had Van Slyke coming in easily. He's twisting and turning, trying to find the ball. Had he just gotten out of the way, it would have been an out. So naturally, error 4. So that puts runners at first and third instead of the inning over. And guess who's coming up to the plate? Madison Bumgarner. Big left-hand batter, has 5 home runs, 9 runs batted in. And home runs are nothing fluky about him at all. He swings and lifts one into shallow right field. Perazza going out, and this time he'll one-hand it. And he had Ben Schleich coming hard. So once he decides to go after the ball, he's not about to back off. So the Dodgers dodge a bullet. No runs, a hit, an error. And at the end of an inning and a half, no score. Friends, be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance Monday the 14th. Dodgers and Rockies. Pick up your Eric Gagne pin, number 7 in the Cy Young Pin Collector Series, presented by 76. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Kind of an all-American family here. 2 youngsters, mom and dad. One using a pacifier, which could be handed out to a lot of adults when the Giants and Dodgers get together. Meanwhile, Adrian Gonzalez shows bunt, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Gonzalez has a 2-run home run in the 6th inning, and then the long fly ball that dropped for a base hit with the bases loaded in the 14th inning to give the Dodgers the win. Strike 1 pitch is swung on, ground ball to Tomlinson. Kelby is up with it to throw him out. That home run last night by Gonzalez was his 287th. So down goes Gonzalez. By the way, coming into the game, Gonzalez was batting 135 against Bumgarner. Whereas Andre Ethier, he's hitting 125 against Bumgarner. So 2 fine left-handed bats, only one operating tonight, and neither one doing well. Scott Van Slyke, the right fielder, right-hand batter, takes a pitch high and inside, fastball, ball 1. 1-out. No score, bottom of the 2nd inning. Bumgarner ready. 1-0 pitch on the way. Van Slyke holds up, and the pitch is low. 2-0 the count. You know, today's the anniversary of several notable Dodgers who made their respective major league debuts on September 1. Steve Garvey in 1969. Orel Hershiser, 1983. Eric Karros, 1991. Mike Piazza, 1992. Line drive to left field for a base hit. Piazza gets it back in. So after retiring 4 in a row, Bumgarner gives up a single to Van Slyke, and that will bring up Justin Ruggiano. Tell you a little bit about him. He was drafted by the Dodgers in 2004 out of Texas A&M. He's a good size, 6'2", 205-pounder out of Austin, Texas. He had a couple of big years with the Marlins, but he also played with the Rays. So there's a connection down there with Dodger president of baseball, Andrew Friedman. And the pitch low and inside, ball one. Well, here's one I bet you that the Dodgers' Andrew Friedman is not aware of. A former owner of the then New York Giants. His name was Andrew Friedman. Spelled Friedman a little different. Our Andrew is I-E-D. That Andrew, E-E-D. And with that knowledge, that'll really make you a great success in this world, right? But anyway, it was a note we found. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Ruggiano with Ellis on deck. Justin bends slightly at the knees. Right-hand hitter takes a whack at it. Fouls it away off to the right, out of play. Back in 2012, when Ruggiano was with the Marlins, he had 5 home runs, 15 RBIs, and was hitting .405 in his first 30 games. He's 33 years old. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Bumgarner fouls away for Justin. 1-2. I don't think he's been in that movie, but he spent about 4 years in Durham. 1-2 the count. Bumgarner looks over at first. Now back to the plate. Little slider hit to short. They'll get one. The throw to first base is not in time. Ball was not hit that hard. So Ruggiano hits into a force play, and A.J. Ellis coming up. Adrianza gets it over to Tomlinson. Throw to first. Not really close. So 2 down, a runner at first, and here is A.J. Ellis. And in talking about September 1, and we mentioned the Dodgers who made their debuts on this day. How about the left-hand Japanese pitcher Masanori Murakami? Well, he made his debut with the Giants in 1964. He was only 20 years old, and he was the first professional player from Japan to appear in the majors. I remember the story they talked about Murakami. Herman Franks was the manager of the Giants, and the Giant players taught Murakami something that they told him was very good to say. And so Murakami was on the mound, got in some trouble, and here comes Herman Franks out to the mound. And Murakami followed the direction of his buddies, and the only English he knew, he said to Herman Franks as the manager made it to the mound, "Take a hike, Herman." That was the only English he knew. I never forgot hearing that. Masanori Murakami. But remember, after he made his debut, for the next 30 years, no player from Japanese professional leagues appeared in the major leagues. And you know, last night's 14-inning marathon, the longest between the Giants and Dodgers since a 15-inning game between the two teams in Candlestick Park. That game was famous for another reason. It was the debut of Dodger pitcher Hideo Nomo. Meanwhile, pop fly into shallow right field. Bird coming, dives, can't hold on to it. Ball squirts away. Stopping at third is Ruggiano. And the Dodgers have runners at first and third on a bloop single to right by A.J. Ellis.
Pitcher number 21, Zach Greinke.
So Marlon Byrd trying to catch up to it. Gave it everything he had. Went into a slide. The glove actually just missed grabbing the ball. Ball's going to hit the ground. And when it bounces up to the fingertips of the glove. So first and third, 2 out, no score, second inning, and Zach Greinke at the plate. Bumgarner set, ready, and delivers, and the first pitch fouled away. 0-1 the count. There they are. Opposition pitchers do not get base hits. They would starve to death against these two, Bumgarner and Greinke. Since Bumgarner popped up in the second inning, pitchers versus Bumgarner, pitchers versus Greinke, 0 for 43. So first and third, 2 out, second inning, no score. Bumgarner comes right back, and that's pop foul behind the plate. That nice, easy delivery, producing a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Giants and Dodgers after each other again here at Dodger Stadium. And remember, tomorrow night, Clayton Kershaw will be going up against Mike Leake. Strike 2 pitch is a ground foul, like skipping rope. Ruggiano had to jump in the air. That ball went right under his spike. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I was just thinking about it. You know, when you run the bases, it wouldn't be bad so that you could change a helmet if you're a right-hand batter and you've reached third base. Strike 2 pitch on the way is high, ball 1. If you look at Ruggiano, naturally being a right-hand batter, his left ear is covered. But running down the line from third, and that's as dangerous as hitting. That right side, no protection. 1-2 the count. Bumgarner ready. Here he comes with a pitch in the dirt. Nice block by Buster Posey. Talking about Bumgarner and being in the dirt, he has 1 wild pitch. No score, second inning. Bumgarner and Greinke. Boy, that's a marquee billing. And again tomorrow night, Mike Leake and Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw appearing as a pinch hitter last night and grounded out. All right, deuce is wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bumgarner delivers, line drive, and an incredible catch by Matt Duffy. Oh, that kid from Long Beach is really something. He takes at least a double away from Greinke and at least 1, maybe 2 from the Dodgers. Tremendous play by Matt Duffy, and the Dodgers come up short. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. And at the end of 2, oh, what a play, no score. Matt Duffy. Duffy from Long Beach went to Lakewood High and went on to play at Long Beach State. Tremendous play, and he gets a lot of high fives and deserves it. Meanwhile, he keeps a poker face and gets ready to hit in the inning. Ehire Adrianza batting ninth, facing Zack Greinke, who was robbed of a run at least and an extra base hit. First pitch missing, ball one. 1-0 to Adrianza. His godfather, Ozzie Guillen. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, and the count 1-1. He's another string bean. He's 6 feet and maybe 170 pounds. Signed with the Giants when he was 16 years old. Now that runs the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Giants signed him in 06. He's been in the organization. Came up 2 years ago, again last year, and now this year. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Adrianza hits a fly ball to right field. Van Slyke comes up and picks it off. So we have one away here in the 3rd inning, and the batter will be Pagan. Each team had runners at first and third in the 2nd inning.
Angel Pagan.
The error by Peraza dropping the pop fly put Posey to third, but he failed to score. And then the Dodgers had first and third, and the magnificent diving catch by Matt Duffy. So Angel Pagan checking in, grounded out to Adrian Gonzalez in the 1st inning. Pagan's had a lot of trouble with his back. First pitch, a change up in for a strike. 0-1 to Angel. Pagan has been always one of those players that seems to get the Giants going, and I'm sure that's exactly what Bochy is hoping, to get Pagan and Pence back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Angels from Puerto Rico. Hunter Pence, they also serve, who only stand and wait. Have no idea when he'll be back. I would love to watch him play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pagan waiting, tired of waiting, and backs out. Pagan is 34 years old and was originally drafted by the Mets out of Puerto Rico. The 1-1 pitch. Angel looks. That's a strike. 1-2. Pagan loved boxing. Of course, baseball was in his heart, but he also loved to box. And he would hang out with Felix Trinidad. Thought he'd give it a try, but after a couple of good shots, he decided he'd stick with baseball. 1-2 pitch on the way. Pagan swings, lifts it to right into the glove of Scott Van Slyke. So 2 down here in the 3rd inning.
Matt Duffy.
And the batter is Matt Duffy, who made that super play on the ball hit by Greinke. Duffy is one of those long shots. It happens occasionally in baseball. They see a young kid and they say, yeah, he's pretty good, or don't think he'll hit much, won't hit for much power. But he was so determined. He's here. Swings, doesn't get the first pitch, and the count 0-1. Duffy, like Adrianza, maybe 170 pounds. Right after dinner on Thanksgiving Day. Strike 1 pitch is low. 1-1 the count to Matt. I would think big series, and from Long Beach, he's got a lot of friends and family here. Greinke ready, and his 1-1 pitch off the plate. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. Duffy really developed in the Cape Cod League. Have you ever heard about that? That's where the really good college players go during the summer. Duffy went up there and really grew up. Started to learn to hit. Then did well in the minors. All the way up to Richmond. Takes a strike. A change. Boy, the way Greinke works. Probably one of the truest things said about Greinke. He has now become the Greg Maddux of the game. Little nubber. Greg would be proud of Greinke as Zach throws to first for the out. So down go the Giants, 1, 2, 3. And at the end of 2.5 innings, Giants nothing, Dodgers nothing. Bottom of the inning, number 3. No score in the ball game. It'll be Jock Peterson, followed by Jimmy Rollins, and then Jose Peraza. Madison Bumgarner looks in, and the talented left-hander ready to go to work. Peterson, 23 home runs, 47 runs batted in, really struggling. Backs off on his heels and takes ball 1. 1-0. Bumgarner checking more signs. Now the 1-0 pitch swung on, hit in the air down the left field line. Racing over is Piazza to make the catch for the out. So Peterson going the other way, and a long fly ball. Piazza caught that on the warning track. Jimmy Rollins coming up. Jimmy struck out 0 for 1. Big Madison Bumgarner, certainly the pitcher of the year last year, a 16-game winner this year. And Rollins checking in to bat right-handed. Jimmy has a look at a strike, and they count 0-1. Bumgarner comes back 0-1, flips it in there, and it's swung on and missed. 0-2. Madison, well, he's the only major league player so far that we know of whose first name is Madison. His father saw Madison County in a book and liked the name, and his mom looked it up in a baby book and really liked it, and the pitch swung on and fouled back. In fact, his mom was very impressed with the name Madison. It has one of those great explanations of the name, and he has certainly made that stand up. 0-2 the count. Bumgarner ready, bends one off the plate. 1-2. No score in the ball game. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball fouled off. His mother said she looked up the name Madison in a baby book, and it meant the son of a great warrior. And of course, they decided that's good enough. Son of a great warrior, and here he is. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rollins has a look, and the pitch a little low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bumgarner, the 3rd youngest baseball player to be honored Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. 2 other pitchers beat him to that. The pitch to Rollins is low, and he swings and strikes out a second time. Who were the other 2 that beat Bumgarner to the Sports Illustrated Award? Yanni Padres of the Dodgers, Tom Seaver of the Mets. So he's in great company. So here's Jose Peraza. Grounded out in the 1st inning, dropped a pop fly going out into right field. Stole 3rd base, and Lopes said he has the ability to become a very good base runner. He takes a strike and the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Jose Peraza. He's from Venezuela. Braves thought he was a #1 prospect. Slow breaking ball, but that drops in low. 1 ball and 1 strike. As far as Bumgarner is concerned, the Giants selected him 10th overall in the 07 draft. They assigned him to the Instruction League in Scottsdale, and a week went by and he wanted to go home. He had enough. He was homesick. 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball sliced foul off to the right into the crowd. He wanted to quit baseball. And in retrospect, he thinks, well, I was out of high school. I was only 18. I'd been away from home a couple of times, but never more than a couple of days. And I always had someone, family or friends with me, and here I was all alone. The next pitch is reached for, a little flare, going out for it and unable to make the catch is Tomlinson. So a 2-out single, and that will bring up Justin Turner.
Number 10,
The Peraza, a little fly ball single. Bumgarner has given up 3 hits and no runs. Justin Turner struck out in the 1st inning. Wow, now it's hot. Isn't that great? I hope Justin saw it. He'd get a big kick out of that youngster. So Turner at the plate, 2 down, 3rd inning, no score. Peraza, let's see if he tries to run. I think there's been 3 stolen bases this year against Peraza. And wow, as Bumgarner was making that pitch, Peraza was racing back to first as if his life depended on it. He really was fooled. And there's the pitch of the plate. Whoa, what's going on here? The Bumgarner is tough. 1-0 the count. Turner waiting. Now the 1-1 pitch, fastball in there. And we get to the most important count. We've talked enough about it if you were listening to the Cubs series and even last night. The 1 ball, 1 strike count. The most important count in a hitter's at bat. One ball and 1 strike. Bumgarner goes to first. In those lonely days in Scottsdale, and remember, Madison Bumgarner is really a country boy. In the Fashion Square Mall, in a courtyard, there was a statue of a bull. So Bumgarner would bring a lasso and practice roping against the inanimate animal. This gave a homesick kid something to do. The pitch in the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike. So it's an amazing story after trying to lasso a statue of a bull. He's won 3 world championships through age 25, joining Vita Blue as the only pitchers to accomplish that at such a young age. No score, bottom of the 3rd. Bumgarner set, looks over at Peraza, back to the plate, runs it in at the knuckles too much. 3-1 the count to Justin Turner. Adrian Gonzalez on deck. Remember, Gonzalez is hitting less than 135 against Bumgarner. since he grounded out back in the second inning. 3-1. Bumgarner again goes to first. Of course, the big moment for Bumgarner, and so exciting for baseball, came out of the bullpen to throw 5 shutout innings in Game 7 of the World Series. That was truly remarkable. All right, Madison's ready in the 3-1 pitch, and that's high. And again, Peraza was racing back to first. So he is a confused base runner, but he's able to jog down to second. So here comes Adrian Gonzalez looking for a break, looking for anything. Adrian has 5 hits in 39 plate appearances against Bumgarner, and he has struck out 7 times and walked once. First and second, 2 out, bottom of the third, no score. Bumgarner looks at the runners, left hander ready and delivers. Line drive to left field. Diaz comes up, plays it on a hop. Here comes a throw to the plate. The runner will score. Over to third goes Turner, and the Dodgers lead 1-0. So a hungry Adrian Gonzalez, not accustomed at all to hitting about 130 against a pitcher. A line drive single to left. Piazza made the best he could do as he left-handed it to the plate, but it was late. Peraza, who runs well, scores easily, and the Dodgers on the board, leading 1-0. Still first and third, and the batter now, Scott Van Slyke. Bumgarner set, comes to the plate, gets the outside corner for a strike. So Adrian Gonzalez coming up with a clutch base hit and a run batted in. He now has 79. 1-0 Dodgers. Bumgarner ready, comes back and gets it in there again. A tantalizing pitch around the knees, and it just does take a bite out of the outside corner of the plate going by. Now if you're the hitter, he's got you 2 strikes away. I guess the first thought is now he's going to bust one inside. Let's see what he does. Bumgarner, who works quickly, a little slider down. Van Slyke strikes out, throws the bat and helmet away. But Adrian Gonzalez came up with a clutch base hit to left field. And at the end of 3, Dodgers 1, Giants nothing. Choice. Visit Jeep.com today. And by Flex Alert. This summer, the power is in your hands. FlexAlert.org. Dodgers lead 1-0 in the fourth inning. First pitch to Brandon Belt, fouled away off third upstairs. Adrian Gonzalez, who had the 2-run home run last night, and then the base hit with the bases loaded to win it in the 14th, gets a base hit to drive in a go-ahead run, and the Dodgers lead 1-0. Peraza had a lot of trouble taking leads at first against Bumgarner, but nevertheless he survived the experience and scored the run. So Bumgarner alone and deep in thought, 16-6 coming into the game, 2-0 against the Dodgers, 13-5 lifetime. 0-2 the count to Brandon Belt. Check swing, 1-2. Dodgers might have had another run back in the second inning if you weren't with us. 2 on, 2 out, and Greinke hit a bullet, and a diving backhand catch by Matt Duffy prevented a run from scoring. Foul ball way down the line upstairs. Belt kind of jumped at that pitch. 1-2 the count. A gap in right center for Belt to shoot at. Peterson shades in towards left. Van Slyke plays in straight away in right. So the wide open spaces are in right center. Peraza 15 feet out on the grass. Foul ball. Still 1-2 to Brandon Belt. Belt coming into the game was hitting .286 with a home run against Greinke. One and two. 2-2. Boy, a beautiful evening. It was a taste of September. 74 degrees when the game started. Those 100-degree days of distant memory, we hope. It is absolutely beautiful this evening. 2-2. Little chopper foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Belt. Belt's a big enough fella, 6'5", 220, at a Nacogdoches in Texas. Went to the University of Texas. He was a 5th-round pick. Boy, he just can't wait for the ball to get up there, can he? He wants to attack it. He's paid a price. He has struck out 131 times. But he is not up there just trying to poke at that thing. He's trying to kill it. 2-2. He has 17 home runs. Checked on a fastball that was high. Belt started offer and held up. I told you he's a line drive hitter. He's ready to rip it, and he is just able to keep the bat back. 3-2. Belt has fouled off already 9 pitches tonight. He's that aggressive. Make it 10. We mentioned he has the highest rate of line drives to plate appearances. Almost 40% of his plate appearances end up with line drives and or strikeouts. Waiting on deck, Buster Posey. 3-2 to Belt. Another foul ball. That's 11. Last night, double and a single finished up the game, striking out 3 times. But in the 12th inning last night, he hit one against Chris Hatcher. A long fly ball to right, and Van Slyke caught it right up against the scoreboard in right field. That thing had a chance when it left the plate. Scotty, I'm sure, has backed up deep enough, remembering last night. 3-2 the count to Belt, opening up the 4th inning, 1-0 Dodgers. a drive to center. Peterson has to go back to get it. So there's another line drive that Belt hits, but for an out.
Number 28, Buster Posey.
So Buster Posey coming up. If you're a visiting player, the more they boo you, the more you know you've given the home team a bad time. And here's Buster Posey. 1-0 Dodgers, 4th inning. Posey, a big RBI man, and especially on the road. Just a long fly ball. And there at the other end is Ruggiano. Posey just missed hitting that out. You know, Thursday in all new Backstage Dodgers, Carl Crawford shares his life story of growing up in Houston. Plus, Andre Ethier visits the legendary bat company, Louisville Slugger. So don't miss Backstage Dodgers. That'll be Thursday at 5:30 on Sportsnet LA. 2 out here in the 4th inning, and Marlon Byrd, who struck out in the 2nd, coming up. Interesting contrast. Brandon Belt was up there, had 12 pitches before he flied out, and then Buster Posey walks up and he's out on 1 pitch. But I'll tell you, Posey just missed hitting that out. 1 ball and 1 strike to Marlon Byrd. Posey back in the dugout, gets a little rest and then puts on the gear and goes back to work. 1-1. Fastball in on the hands. Perfect location. Greinke struggled in the 1st inning, although it was a 1-2-3 inning. He made 20 pitches. One and 2. So for Greinke now, 64 pitches. About 16 pitches an inning. That'd be too much. He doesn't go 9. Normally, Greinke gives you a great 7. Fastball low. 2-2. Don Mattingly, Rick Honeycutt sitting on top of a 4.5 game lead. 2-2. Fastball hit in the air to right center. Outfielders converge. It's Peterson. So for Greinke, 3 fly balls and 3 out. He was a little lucky on that ball that Posey hit. So we're heading for the bottom of the 4th along with Madison Bumgarner, and the Dodgers leading 1-0. 1-0 lead. Justin Ruggiano followed by A.J. Ellis and then Zach Greinke against the big left-hander Madison Bumgarner. Ruggiano hit into a force play in the second inning. Fastball pull foul, 0-1. Some background again on Madison Bumgarner. He was so good so young. He started playing against 7-year-olds when he was 4. And he's so adept with either hand. He shoots a bow, he bats, he writes, and he ropes right-hander. But he throws from the left side. 0-2, changing up a little bit. His father wouldn't let him throw a curveball until he had a driver's license. Yeah. And that was before he dated a girl. Yeah, he dated a girl named Madison Bumgarner. Ground ball to third. Duffy is on it. Low throw. Nice pick by Belt. 1 away. Yeah, that's honestly true. There was a girl whom he dated. Her name was Madison Bumgarner, no relation. When he married his wife Allie, being the country boy that he is at heart, he wore a white open collar shirt, blue jeans, carrying a pocket knife. He bought Allie a cow before the wedding. He sure is the country boy. Ball 1. Ellis single to right in the second inning. Ground ball to third. Duffy's on that one. 2 down here in the 4th inning. And Zach Greinke robbed of an extra base hit by Duffy and a run batted in coming up.
21.
1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 1 hit against Greinke. We're still looking for either of these pitchers to give up a base hit to the other. They're each 0 for 1. Pitchers throughout the league are 0 for 44 against each of them. So it shows you they don't relax, whether it's the number 4 hitter or the pitcher. 0-1 to Zach. He has a dozen hits, 2 home runs, and a couple of runs batted in. 0-1. Off the plate. Of course, Greinke has all the awards as Bumgarner takes a little stroll behind. He's a Cy Young winner, Gold Glove winner, Silver Bat winner. Well, he's done it all like Fernando. 1 ball, 1 strike. Little foul behind the plate. Posey hustling over and one-handed. Nice play by Buster Posey. Dodgers go down in order, and at the end of 4, 1-0 Dodgers. Matching up the two pitchers tonight, and you're looking at two of the best in the game. You can see one run charged against Bumgarner. Greinke missed an extra base hit and an RBI on a diving catch by Matt Duffy. Walks, well, Bumgarner has walked one. That was Turner back in the third inning. So two wonderful pitchers are locked in there tonight. And Greinke now will be working to De Aza, Tomlinson, and Bumgarner. De Aza, formerly signed by the Dodgers, worked his way up to the Red Sox and now playing for the Giants. Flied to center in the second inning. Ball one. We talked earlier about avoiding the double play. Well, he's been a master at that. 1 ball and 1 strike. From the Dominican, 31 years old. Line foul down the line, deep in the lower deck. 1-2 to Alejandro. He started playing after being signed by the Dodgers 2001. And a one hopper. Jimmy Rollins stays with it and nips him at first. Hard hit ball. Jimmy made it look so easy. Greinke hollered something to him that made him smile. Now Justin Turner says something. Well, that ball took that hip high hop and he was still able to stay with it. 1 away. Here's Kelby Tomlinson. Reached on the error in the second inning. The pop fly that was dropped by Peraza. Well, it must be catching after last night's 14-inning game. Check swing foul. Oklahoma City, the Dodgers Farm Club, won tonight 6-4 in 19 innings. And that's game 1 of a doubleheader. Game 2 starts in 30 minutes. What is it? Eugene O'Neill's long day's journey into night. That's the Oklahoma City team right now. 2-1 the count. Tomlinson with Bumgarner on deck. Good breaking ball. Just a little spinner. 2-2. Just perfect. That's that deer in the headlight look. The hitter's just frozen. Then the fastball, and that'll be that. So Tomlinson goes to school, disagrees with the count and the call by the veteran umpire Mike Winters. So 2 down here in the 5th inning. Mike Winters, by the way, the plate umpire tonight, has spent over 25 years. He was the plate umpire when Tony Gwynn and Cal Ripken Jr. recorded their 3,000th hit. Mike was born in California. 0-1 to count to Madison Bumgarner. Tell you an amazing story about Bumgarner, but while he's out on the mound, not at the plate. Remind me to tell you the story. Lifts a curveball to right center. Peterson is calling. That's that. Well, that's 10 in a row retired since the era by Peraza. And at the end of 4.5 innings, Dodgers 1, Giants nothing. at Toyota's annual clearance event. Get amazing deals on every new Toyota. Bottom of the fifth inning, 1-0 Dodgers, and thanks for reminding me to tell you about Madison Bumgarner. He'll be pitching to Peterson, Rollins, and Peraza. I'm a city guy. I was born and raised in an apartment, played all the time in the streets. So I'm in direct contrast to Madison Bumgarner, who is indeed a country boy. We do share one thing. We're each left-handed. But anyway, this happened during spring training way back February in Scottsdale. High fly ball, it's playable. Marlon Bird at the other end of it. One away. Anyway, Bumgarner and his wife, they were roping cattle, and Madison was startled by a large snake he figured certainly was a rattler. So he picked up an axe and he hacked the snake to pieces. When his wife, Allie, who's an expert field dresser, examined what was left of the snake, she found, believe it or not, 2 baby jackrabbits inside pieces of the snake and extracted them. And a short while later, they noticed one of the rabbits had actually moved. Ball 1. It was alive. So Allie brought the one rabbit back to the apartment for the next few days, kept it warm, bottle nursed it. The rabbit soon was healthy enough, and they released it back into the wild. How about that? 2 balls and no strikes the count. And as Bumgarner said, just think about how tough that rabbit was. First it gets eaten by a snake, then the snake gets chopped to pieces, and then it gets picked up by people, and it lives. That's a strike. 2-1. One to nothing in favor of the Dodgers. Bumgarner versus Greinke. Fastball, line drive, base hit. Piazza gets trouble for the moment, but then gets it back into the infield. So Peterson, a fly ball to right. Rollins, a line drive single to left. Dodgers now have 5 hits with their run. And here's young Jose Peraza. Grounded out, single to right. Was absolutely intimidated by Bumgarner's move to first base, but eventually went to second on a walk and scored the run on the base hit by Gonzalez. Ball 1. 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. No runs, 1 hit. No errors for the Giants. Their only hit, Posey. Little dribbler up along third. Fastball lifted to right center, and Pagan makes a great diving catch. Boy, he means so much to the Giants, and he finally puts a little bit in display. So far, nothing with the bat, but he takes a base hit away from Peraza, and that'll bring up Justin Turner. Another look and another nice play. So 2 out. Turner has struck out and walked. Round of applause from Bumgarner on the catch by Pagan. Outfield absolutely straight away. You can almost draw a line to indicate a straightaway setup against Justin Turner. Pagan dead up the middle. Same for Diaz in left. And Bird maybe a little bit towards right center, but not much at all. Oh and 1. One ball and 1 strike. One run, 5 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. No runs, 1 hit. No errors for the Giants. On the contrary, a diving catch by Matt Duffy saved a run on a ball hit by Greinke in the 2nd inning. And then you just had Angel Pagan making a diving catch in right center. Posey blocking that. Boy, he's got to be tired. 14 long innings last night. All he had was 4 hits, so it wasn't as if he was relaxing in the dugout after the outs. 2-1. Chopper, foul ball. 2-2 to Justin. Madison Bumgarner versus Zach Greinke. They haven't faced each other that much, but brings back memories of Don Drysdale and Sandy Koufax going up against Juan Marichal. 2-2. There goes the runner, and the pitch is low. Boy, I'm a little surprised. Bumgarner had no move on that, and Rollins stole it easily. You don't usually run on him. We mentioned, I think that's maybe the 4th stolen base against him this year. So Jimmy Rollins picks his pocket, and now it's up to Turner to try to pick him up. On deck, Adrian Gonzalez. Check swing and a comebacker. Bumgarner lobs it to first, and that's it. No runs, 1 hit, stolen base, man left, and at the end of 5, 1-0 Dodgers. Before Giants and Dodgers in the Polo Grounds in New York. The Giants and Dodgers both eliminated for the pennant race on the 1st of September. Joe Medwick, who at one time played for the Dodgers, was also hit by a pitch when he was playing for the Giants, and he had to come out of the game. However, they said, gee, we can't afford to lose Medwick. So we'll tell you what DeRocha decided, but I don't want to miss a pitch. Let's go back to this. One ball and no strikes they count to Adrianza. DeRocha said, okay, I'll be a good guy. I'll let you bring Medwick back in the game. But first, while he's being treated, you'll need to have a pinch runner. And the Giants said yes. And DeRocha said, okay, I will let Medwick to come back later on if you let me select the runner for him now. And the Giants said, well, oh, that's a good deal. Okay. So Leo DeRocha picked a 38-year-old catcher named Gus Mancuso, and you could have beaten Gus in those days, and he was the runner. Dodgers went on to win that game, a meaningless game, 9-1. Of course, DeRocha was one of the more colorful men who managed both the Giants and the Dodgers. He was with the Dodgers in 1941 when they won their first pennant, and 21 years. And he was the Giants manager when they won it all in 1954. Leo was very superstitious. You talk about players jumping over the foul lines. They tell me there was a time during the tough pennant race, probably back in 41, he wore the same outfit. By outfit, I mean the same jacket, the same tie, the same slacks. Naturally, if you knew Leo, a clean shirt every day. But yeah, for 3 weeks. Pagan takes a strike, grounded out, flied out, 0 for 1. Oh and 1. That's going to go foul. I roomed with Leo DeRocher in spring training when he came to become a coach for the Dodgers. They really didn't know what to do with him. He had already been a world championship manager, but they didn't want to give him a room all by himself. They didn't want to put him in with a coach. And they thought, well, let's put him in with Scully. And a drive to left center and deep. Going back and picking it off is Roggiano for the out. So for a couple of spring trainings, I roomed with Leo DeRocher's sweaters. He had, for a kid from New York in the streets, Leo had the best alpaca sweaters. Wow. I had a corduroy suit my mother and dad bought me. I wore that thing till the stripes wore out of, not corduroy, seersucker is what I'm talking about. Anyway, here's Matt Duffy, 0 and 1. On deck, Brandon Belt. 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. No run, 1 hit for the Giants. That hit by Posey, a little roller up along third. Justin Turner tried, but he couldn't make the play, and that's it. Greinke's just rolling along. Posey got that hit. Without that little dribbler, and if Peraza doesn't drop the pop fly, I mean, Greinke'd be pitching a perfect game right now. 0 and 2. Oh, a change. That's as slow a change as we've seen tonight. 63 miles an hour. One ball and 2 strikes. The Duffy chases it. Down he goes. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 in a row by Zach Greinke. And he walks off leading 1-0. And tomorrow night, Mike Leake will go against Clayton Kershaw. So to purchase tickets, all you have to do is visit Dodgers.com/tickets. Leake coming over to San Francisco. They needed extra pitching. They've come up with a good one. And, of course, the Dodgers sending their man Kershaw to the mound. Clayton relaxed right now in the dugout. He'll be dead seriously at this time tomorrow evening. Adrian Gonzalez line drive single to left field in the third inning. Drive in the only run of the game. And for Adrian, a distinct pleasure to get a base hit against Bumgarner, as we mentioned at the start of the game, hitting only 135 against Bumgarner. That's a strike, 1-1. One and two. Well, it finally happened. It happened to the Arizona Diamondbacks. They had been the only active franchise never to have hit into a triple play until today. In the day portion of a split doubleheader in Colorado, with runners at first and second, Paul Goldschmidt lined out to the shortstop, turned into a triple play. 2-2. Down he goes. A lot of pitching. You're not seeing so many 98-mile-an-hour fastballs or anything like that. Bumgarner had 4 strikeouts through 3 innings. So now he has his 5th strikeout here in the 6th. Zach Greinke picked up a strikeout in the first inning, another in the second, and 2 more to give him 4. And next stroke to left. Piazza charging. Will have to play it. As Van Slyke now goes 2 for 3 against Bumgarner. Dodgers 1 run on 6 hits now. The Giants have 1 hit. When the Giants come up in the 7th, they'll have Brandon Belt, Buster Posey, and Marlon Byrd. Ruggiano hit into a force play, grounded to third. Big sweeping breaking ball at the last minute. 1 ball and no strikes. Ruggiano from Austin, Texas. Van Slyke at first, 1 away. Dodgers got away with a stolen base with Jimmy Rollins in the 5th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. Only run in the 3rd inning with 1 out. Peraza singled to right. Turner walked, and Gonzalez singled to left to score Peraza, and that's it. 1-2. Pitched him up, strikes him out. Half a dozen strikeouts now for Bumgarner. And the batter will be A.J. Ellis.
Catcher, A.J. Ellis.
Ellis singled to right. He's been going the other way a lot. But then after the base hit to right, second time up, he grounded sharply to third. So he hits what he gets. If he can pull it, fine. Pitch him away, he'll go the other way. talking about going the other way or pulling the ball. They say the best thing to do with Bumgarner, if possible, is make contact and pull the ball. And that's pulled into left field, base hit. When right-hand batters pull the ball, they're hitting .424. When left-hand hitters pull the ball, they're hitting .409.
Pitcher, Zach Greinke.
So ground ball base hit. A.J. Ellis is 2 for 3. And a fine hitter coming up in Zach Greinke with 2 outs. So the Dodgers 1 run on 7 hits. Oh and 1. Greinke hit a bullet way back in the 2nd inning. Matt Duffy made a tremendous diving catch that took a run away from the Dodgers for sure. Last time up, Greinke fouled out. So it's 1-0, except for Duffy, it would be at least 2. Van Slyke at second. Ellis at first, 2 out. High out of the zone. Here's that play we're talking about. It was so important. I mean, that ball was crushed, and Duffy made a marvelous play. It's amazing how quickly big leaguers can react, especially a third baseman near the bag. Wow. Bumgarner was off the rubber, hearing a lot of fans holler balk. Not close. 1 ball and 1 strike. Flipped that thing at 92, and it's a 2-ball 1 strike count. So Greinke is wearing the count. Zach, 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in, 2 on, 2 out, 1-0 Dodgers. And a slider missed. So now he's down 3-1. Remember, Greinke is batting 8th in the lineup. Jock Peterson is on deck. Wouldn't be surprised because Greinke is such a good hitter. They green light him 3 balls and 1 strike. And if he likes the location, they'll let him rip. Yeah, that figured. It was a breaking ball, and Greinke was badly fooled at it, wearing that big grin. All right, the Dodgers get a slight edge. The runners will be going 3-2 with 2 down. Van Slyke from second, Ellis from first. Runners go, and it's hit foul upstairs down the line. Greinke has 2 home runs. Bumgarner has 5. That was fouled right away. From up there, I guess he thought they might have a chance, but it wasn't close. All right, they'll try it again. Van Slyke and Ellis going. 3-2 to Greinke. Chases it and strikes out. So Bumgarner winds up striking out the side. That gives him 7. And at the end of 6, it's still 1-0 Dodgers. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Choose Nissan.com. And by Flex Alert. This summer, the power is in your hands. FlexAlert.org. It figured to be a tough ball game, and that's exactly what it is. 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers. Bumgarner has allowed 7 hits and a run. Greinke just that one scratch single up along third, hit by Posey. 4 strikeouts for Zach, 7 strikeouts for Bumgarner, who just struck out the side in the 6th inning. Jake Peavy standing up and muttering. He gave the Giants a good job, and then in the 6th inning let things get away last night. So here is Belt, grounded out, flied out, 0 for 2. Ball 1. He had a 12-pitch at bat last time in the 4th inning, and then Posey came up and hit the first pitch for a long fly ball to left. And a line drive base hit. For the Giants, that's only the 2nd time they've had a man lead off and get aboard, and that was Posey with the only hit. So Belt, a line drive single to right, hit number 2, and that'll bring up Posey. So after retiring 13 in a row, the Giants get a base hit. Posey has been a hot hitter, but he has not, and maybe it's tiring, as you can imagine, catching every day. Come September, you get a little weak. He has driven in just 2 runs in his last 14 games. He has not homered in his last 25 games. And you have to figure part of that is fatigue. 1 ball, no strikes. Fouled away down the line. Posey will be followed by Marlon Byrd. September the 1, and the last day of the regular season is October the 4th. 1-1. Fastball, miss low. All right, 2-1 to Posey. Now let's think about a possible play. Posey has grounded into 16 double plays. The legs start to go, of course, as a catcher. So we'll see if that means they run Belt. They do not. And now they get an ideal situation, 3-1. Marlon Byrd waiting on deck. Posey checking with Roberto Kelly. Kelly at third base, you may remember, played for the Dodgers 1995. Runner holding on ball 4. So Greinke in his first jam tonight, although in a sense in the 2nd inning after the squib single there was the error with 2 out, but he got Bumgarner to pop up. Now 2 on, nobody out, and Byrd, De Aza, and Tomlinson checking in. Marlon Byrd, 14 RBIs in his last 5 games. Struck out, fly to center. 95 pitches made by Greinke. And the Dodgers, as if on cue, get up in the bullpen. Ball 1. Greinke does have 1 complete game, but basically he goes 7, and you start looking at the pen. Juan Nicasio is first man up. One and 0 the count to Marlon Byrd. Belt at second, Posey at first, nobody out. Fastball. 1-1 to Marlon. 1 run, 7 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits for the Giants. And a high chopper to the hole. Turner turns, throws, got him. So a nice play by Justin Turner to nip Marlon Byrd. Giants move up, however, to second and third, and the batter will be their newcomer, Alejandro De Aza. Turner sliding, whirling, throwing, and gets him on a bang-bang play. Looks like they're going to ask to review the play. Mike Winters, the plate umpire. Mike Muchlinski, the first base umpire. So they'll review it. Timeout for the moment. For the Giants, they had 2 runners on in the second inning, and they have 2 runners on here in the 7th. Whether they have 2 runners or 3 will be determined in a minute. Crowd is trying to help out. They're absolutely right down the middle, and they're advising the umpires that he was certainly out. Can't really see from that angle because the glove, well, from this angle you can see, boy, is that close. Wow. Looks out. I just marvel. We use all that equipment, all those close-ups. The umpires have to call it once, and that's it. Bang, bang. Mike Winters, the plate umpire, is in his 26th year. Winters on the right. Muchlinski is on the left. Mike Muchlinski, by the way, standing just to Mike Winters' right. He was behind the plate for Max Scherzer's no-hitter in June against Pittsburgh. Mike's been umpiring in the league about 4.5 years. So in New York, they're trying to take it apart. Can't get much closer than that, can it? Well, they always say, never mind the ego. The big thing is to get it right. Marlon Byrd standing at first until told otherwise. Here it is, out. All right. The Byrd is out, but the Giants have runners at second and third. Oh, hey, Bruce Bochy ticked off. Managers who are on the wrong side of a review, when they ask for it and then they lose the review, the feeling is a lot of managers feel that way. Oh, sure. The umpires who are in New York are trying to protect the guys on the scene. I bet you that's what Bochy's saying. Now Bruce turning to see if they get a report from other members in the dugout. So Honeycutt talking to Greinke. You have Diaza, a left-hand batter, and then the rookie second baseman, Kelby Tomlinson. Be interesting now if Diaza does something, because as we mentioned, he was originally drafted by the Dodgers. Wound up with the Red Sox and wound up with the Giants tonight. Just joined the club, just like Justin Ruggiano playing left field. Just joined the Dodgers today. Once you get into September, you have the September call-ups, the waivers, and a few extra fellas hook on. All right, this is the toughest moment for Greinke. Second and third, 1 out. Dodgers lead 1-0. Line drive foul. Piazza flied to center in the second inning. That would have been deep enough to get a run home. 1 ball and 1 strike. Greinke 6-0 lifetime against the Giants. 5-0 in his last 6 starts here at Dodger Stadium. Trying to win his 15th. 26-7 against the Western Division. One and 2 the count to Alejandro. Belt the tying run at third. Posey tiebreaker out there at second. Greinke trying to put the hitter away. Meanwhile, Bumgarner hoping his mates can at least get him a run. Greinke has struck out 4. Bumgarner has struck out 7. Two and 2. For Greinke, with a runner at third, that's always a consideration, and it is certainly a problem because Greinke has 7 wild pitches. 2 and 2. Waiting on deck, Kelby Tomlinson. Oh, what a pitch. Diaz can't believe it got the corner. Down he goes. Just catches the corner. Diaz can't believe it's called a strike. So 2 down. That's the 5th strikeout for Greinke. And Kelby Tomlinson coming up. So the young second baseman playing for Joe Panik. Boy, they miss Panik. He was hitting .309 when the back flared up. And ball 1. Greinke now at 104. He is pretty much, is not a put down, but he's pretty much a 7-inning pitcher. So they're backing him up in the pen. 1 ball, no strike. Fastball in there. Greinke now has 169 strikeouts. Clayton Kershaw tomorrow night will come in at 236. One and 1. Breaking ball slapped into the gap. It's playable. It's Van Slyke. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. And at the end of 6.5 innings, Dodgers 1, Giants 0. 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers, and the Giants are really ticked off when the count on Alejandro Diaz came up. Bochy, Peavy, and the rest of the Giants were furious. There's Peavy, the pitcher, hollering at Mike Winters. I mean, he is letting the veteran umpire hear it, so much so he's finally going to be kicked out of the game. Of course, Peavy pitched last night, but boy, he is really ticked off. Bochy, meanwhile, comes out talking to Mike Winters. You remember how shocked Diaz was, but meanwhile, the game continues. Big curveball in for a strike, and the count 0-1 to Jock Peterson. Bumgarner is due to lead off in the 8th inning. Oh and 1. 0-2. Bochy might very well have been kicked out because he is not in his usual position in the dugout. We're looking down there. He's always in the near corner, and he's gone. 0-2 the count. Of course, a plate umpire coming up to argue about a pitch being a strike. We'll watch Mike Winters listening to Bruce, and he's saying, "You're gone." So both Bochy and Peavy are done. 1-0 Dodgers, bottom of the 7th inning. Big thing right now with Zack Greinke would be his pitch count. 2-2. And that's off the plate. Greinke had a shaky first inning when he made 20 pitches. He's made 106. His high in a pitch count this year would be 119. And that was 8 innings against Washington. A drive to right center and deep. That one is carrying. It is over the wall, and a home run for Jock Peterson. And the Dodgers lead 2-0. For Madison Bumgarner, that would be the 17th home run that he's allowed. For Jock Peterson, very popular with the ball club. They understand what he's going through. And he shows you on a good fastball out over the plate. He drives it over the wall. So the Dodgers lead 2-0. Bumgarner will now face Jimmy Rollins. Peterson, a line drive home run. Oh, he's struggling, sure. But boy, you watch him play. He's a brilliant defensive center fielder. Has awesome power. And he's just starting out. 0-1. Change, it slipped. 1 ball and 1 strike. It was just the other night when Peterson struck out and he was pounding the bench with his bat. You have to go through it all of the emotions to play the game. So Rollins taps to short, 1 away. And the batter will be Jose Peraza. Remember, it must have been about a week ago, Andre Ethier just boiled over. Came back into the dugout and looked like he was going to destroy part of the dugout. And then a couple of days later, a huge home run. Jose Peraza grounded to short, single to right, scored a run, lined out. Ball 1. Brandon Belt is way off the bag at first, and Peraza runs very well. Might have tried to take a shot at that gap. 1-1. when the Giants come up in the 8th inning. They're due to lead off with Bumgarner, then Adrianza and Pagan. Little squirt right under the glove of Bumgarner, but Tomlinson makes the play. 2 down. Justin Turner has struck out, walked, hit back to the box. Slow breaking ball for a strike. 0-1. Down in the Dodger bullpen to back up Greinke, the left-hander Luis Avilan and the right-hander Juan Nicasio. Foul back. 0-2. 2-0 in favor of the Dodgers. 2 runs and 8 hits. Giants, no runs, 2 hits. Jock Peterson took a little of the pressure off Greinke and whoever else pitches. Good fastball at a perfect spot. Turner strikes out. However, Jock Peterson gets a hold of the fastball at the knees and got all of it. Sends it into the bleachers in right center, and the Dodgers at the end of 7 lead 2-0. Fans will receive a bobblehead of 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner Fernando Valenzuela, presented by State Farm. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. Jock Peterson takes a little of the heat off the shoulders and pressure that's on Zach Greinke. He turns a 1-0 lead to a 2-0 lead. Madison Bumgarner was due to hit, and he will not come up. It'll be Nori Aoki batting for Bumgarner. Aoki, among other things, is a threat to bunt. He has 22 infield hits. Right. And he had a tough night last night in left field. Aoki went 0 for 6. Change up, just misses. If you want to do the math, Greinke is pitching his 27th start, and he has piled up 186 innings, excluding this Fly ball 11. Whoa! Ruggiano was coming in and reaches up and saves what could have been an easy double. Boy, that was close. One away. Gregor Blanco will now come up. Fly ball misjudged. Ruggiano started in, and at about 6'4", big enough to reach up and erase the mistake.
7, Gregor Blanco.
So now Gregor Blanco coming up. Blanco, among other things, has a half a dozen base hits by bunting, though it wouldn't be a surprise to see him try to lay one down. Turner's in on the grass. Full swing, line drive, base hit. So for Greinke, and I mentioned earlier,
number 16,
he's basically a 7-inning pitcher. That's not a put down, it's just the numbers. And actually, for tonight, he comes in averaging 6.8 innings per start. So right around 7 innings. So they're watching him very carefully. Tim Hudson was activated today, and the veteran right-hander is now throwing in the Giant bullpen. And here is Angel Pagan. And ball 1. Gregor Blanco is a good base runner. He has stolen 13 bases. He'd really be a factor prior to the home run by Jock Peterson. And line drive base hit to left field. So it's pushing it when Greinke goes beyond his average, just around 7 innings. And now a long out to left, back-to-back singles, and Matt Duffy will be coming up. Of course, remember too, that 14-inning game last night, the Dodgers used 6 relievers. They used Baez, Avilan, Nicasio, Jansen, Johnson, Hatcher. There you can see who did the work. The big horse was Chris Hatcher. 3 innings, 45 pitches. Johnson and Nicasio 29. So the boys in the pen certainly did a great job last night. So 2 on, 1 out. Here is Matt Duffy. 2 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, no runs, 4 hits for the Giants. And ball 1. Giants, by the way, have been shut out 12 times. Dodgers have been shut out 10 times. 1 ball and no strikes. And that's going to be a line drive base hit. Peterson over to get it. Here comes the run. So Greinke crossed the line. He had made 106 pitches through his 7 innings. Gets into the 8th and gets that long out. Then 2 singles in a row, and now Duffy, a #1 guy to be up there with runners in scoring position, and he promptly takes a breaking ball and slaps that into center. So 3 straight hits. It is 2-1 in favor of the Dodgers. 114 pitches made, and Greinke's done. With Brandon Belt coming up, Avilan down in the bullpen figures to be coming in. So 1 out, and then the base hits, and the Giants are in business. Greinke will get a standing ovation as he comes out, and we'll be back. A strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. We have a moment to consider the importance of Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson hits a home run that is now the difference in the game in the 8th inning. Madison Bumgarner has allowed only 2 home runs to left-hand batters this year. One to Bryce Harper, and tonight to Jock Peterson. And it was a very interesting at-bat for Peterson. He fell behind to Bumgarner, no balls and 2 strikes. Ran the count to 3-2, and then hit the home run. That was a huge battle. Now another battle will be Brandon Belt, who is very consistent. He's hitting .283 against left-handers, .284 against right-handers. Belt tonight has grounded out, flied out, single to right, and Greinke's lead now diminished to 2-1. And remember, he is 6-0. He has never lost to the Giants. So Pagan at second, representing the tying run, and Belt trying to pick him up. Avilan made 9 pitches, that's all, last night. A drive down the line, hooking, foul. And immediately Ellis goes out to talk to Avilan, and Belt stands at the plate, no balls and 1 strike. Avilan in his 61st game, but as a Dodger, only 11. Left-hander from Venezuela, from Caracas. Avilan began his big league career in 2012. Made his first game appearance against the Mets, facing Belt, who's 0 for 5 against him. Pagan and Duffy out there on the bases. Fastball 0-2. On deck, Buster Posey. Got him on the instep. That had to hurt. Right there. Out. Still 0-2 to Brandon. Greinke very interested. Naturally, all of his hard work on the line. Trying to win his 15th against 3 losses. And the Giants trying to come back and turn the table. 0-2 to Brandon Belt. 2 on, 1 out, 2-1 Dodgers. Pulled foul. They have pretty good speed. Angel Pagan, when 100%, runs well. Pagan has stolen 6 out of 8. Brandon Belt, 1 for 3, single in the 7th inning. Line drive single to right field. Going pretty hard at 94, got that up and away. Belt, as we've mentioned throughout the series, a line drive hitter for sure, an extremely aggressive hitter. As an aggressive hitter, he has struck out over 130 times. 1-2. Ground foul. Belt is the number 3 hitter in the lineup. That's all you need to know. Buster Posey hitting back of him has a squib single, a long fly ball out, and a walk. Greinke made 106 pitches and then just ran out of gas here in the 8th. Peterson is the difference for the moment. 1-2. Well, it's amazing. Must be an amazing feeling to be down on the field. You have the crowd making noise, but suddenly, in this kind of a moment, you hear the quiet. Two and two. Greinke made a total of 114 pitches tonight. His high for the year is 119. Two and two. That's going to be a ground ball, fielded, and they get the force and the double play. Peraza backhands the ball and turns it into a double play. Take another look. There's the backhand effort, like Chase Utley last night. He fed a backhand ball out of his glove, and this time the Dodgers got two. So 1 run, 3 hits, and we go to the bottom. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by the Acura It's That Kind of Summer event. Dodgers, thanks to the big double play, holding on to a 2-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Tim Hudson, the veteran pitcher, comes in to relieve. Nick Noonan will take over at shortstop. Tim Hudson, out of Columbus, Georgia, lives in Auburn, Alabama. He had Tommy John surgery in 2008. Probably his greatest year would be the year 2000 with the Oakland A's, who had originally drafted him out of Auburn. He was a 20-game winner that year, and the next year came right back, winning 18. Then down the line, he won 16 games for Atlanta, won 17 games for Atlanta, and eventually helped the Giants by winning 9 last year. Adrian Gonzalez leading it off. Adrian has grounded out, singled, and struck out. So the starting pitchers go out. Greinke goes out leading. Bumgarner goes out losing. That's in for a strike. Jose Peraza made that backhanded catch, shoveled the ball out of the glove, and the Dodgers turned one of the biggest double plays of the year. 1 ball, 1 strike. A drive to left, going back on the ball, turning, reaching, unable to make the play, and into second base goes Gonzalez with a double. Peraza unable to catch up to it. So Tim Hudson, just activated today, gives up a double. Take another look. Fastball had a little run to it. So Gonzalez just went with it and hit it over Diaz's head. Carl Crawford will now come up and bat for Van Slyke. Van Slyke was 2 for 3 tonight against Madison Bumgarner. So Gonzalez at second, nobody out. Dodgers 2 runs, 9 hits. Giants 1 run, 5 hits. The bunt on the chalk goes foul. Take another look at that double play. It's so hard to feed a ball out of a glove, and especially backhand. There's the backhand, and then he had to flip it backhand. Couldn't turn the glove and shovel it. And Belt bangs into the double play, and the Dodgers got off the hook cheaply enough. 3 hits, 1 run. Well, Peraza turned in quite a play. 0-1 the count to Carl Crawford, bunting on the first pitch. Swinging on the second. The play has to go to first, although Newman looked over there. So Crawford, a ground ball to the shortstop, and the Dodgers are able to advance the runner from second. We don't see that too often. Go 1 away. Justin Ruggiano was due up, and of course he's not going to come up when the Dodgers have a chance to play Ethier. So Andre Ethier will be batting for Ruggiano and stay in the game. Andre Ethier hitting .297. 13 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Well, we'll see now. They will go down to the bullpen. They have Hunter Strickland, but they have Javier Lopez, and chances are that it'll be Lopez coming in. And Tim Hudson goes out. So with a runner at third, 1 out, Dodgers lead 2-1. We'll be right back. comes out, not the left-hander Javi Lopez. You look at Strickland and you find out that Andre Ethier has never faced him. And if you look at Lopez, and you would think the left-hander would be coming in, Ethier is hitting only 176 against Lopez. But certainly there is more to the game than numbers. And Andre now with a runner at third. The infield is halfway. And on deck, A.J. Ellis. The Dodgers have struggled trying to get men home from third. In fact, the Cubs are the most frustrated in that area, and the Dodgers right back on them. Fastball for a strike. Strickland throws very hard. Don't have to say that if we're looking at the first pitch. 99 miles an hour. Strickland gave up a base hit last night. That's all in the 7th inning. Oh, and 1. Fastball hit fell late. Wow. That thing was almost in Posey's mitt. Take a look. It's almost passed him into the mitt. That's what you get when you throw 99. Strickland, big boy, 6'4", 220, out of Georgia. Fastball, fly ball, shallow. Pagan is going to catch it on the run, and there's nowhere for Gonzalez to go. So it worked. They brought in the right-hander, not the left-hander, and Ethier flies to shallow center, and the batter is A.J. Ellis. A.J. Ellis, single to right, rounded to third, single to left. 2 for 3. Suddenly revitalized. Ellis now has his average up to 240. Of course, as he says, the more I play, the stronger I get. And for Yasmani Grandal, whoa. Uh-oh. Why is Ethier so high? Strike, 0-1, A.J. Ellis. So Hunter Strickland trying to shut the Dodgers down and keep that runner at third. Giants will come up with Posey, Bird, and De Aza. At least he's due up. Check swing for a strike. Chase Utley is out on deck. Should Ellis extend the inning? There's Chase. A.J. Ellis in his last 23 games is hitting .323. First 22 games he hit 160. For Strickland to come in with a runner at third, throwing as hard as he does, you wonder about wild pitches. Well, he's made one. Tomorrow night, Leake and Kershaw. Tonight, it'll be Kenley Jansen in a few moments. One and two. Fastball fouled away at 99 again. The paid attendance tonight, 48,060. 48060. One ball, two strikes. Fouled away. Looked like a slider down and away. A.J. got a little bit of it. Adrian Gonzalez doubled to open the inning. He's at third, 2 outs later. 1 and 2 to count to A.J. Ellis. fastball at 99. Wow. So Ellis strikes out. Great job by Hunter Strickland. And we are heading for the ninth. So is Kenley Jansen. And the Dodgers lead 2-1. MLB.com at bat. That's the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and a lot more. So get MLB.com at bat now. Andre Ethier into the game is in right field. Carl Crawford into the game. He's in left field. Kenley Jansen on the mound. For the Giants, they'll start with Buster Posey. Then it'll be Bird, and we'll see about Diaza. For Kenley Jansen, he worked last night, pitched the 9th inning, breezed through the inning, gave up a base hit, nothing else. So Kenley puts the remarkable numbers to work again. Every time he comes in, you marvel at the fact that he has walked 5 and struck out 65. Buster Posey, then Marlon Byrd. Those are the first two. We'll see about Diaza. Jansen, of course, like so many relievers, concentrating on the hitter so much that he is very, very vulnerable to the stolen base. Last night, he pitched the 7th inning. Got away with it, 1-2-3. 2-0 the count to Posey, who had that little dribbler up along third for the only hit until the 7th inning. Fly deep to left in the 4th. Bird's waiting on deck, and Posey walked last time in the 7th. Back in the 4th inning, Posey just missed hitting the ball out. Change of equipment for AJ. 2-0 the count to Buster Posey. Posey had 4 hits last night. A mile-high pop fly. Jimmy Rollins. One away. So with one down, the batter is Marlon Byrd.
Right fielder number 6,
Marlon Byrd struck out, flied to center, grounded to third. We'll see if Alejandro Diaza comes up, and he does come out on deck. Dodgers 2 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Giants 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. The difference in the game, home run by Jock Peterson. It's pretty remarkable for young Jock. Only 2 left-hand hitters have homered against Madison Bumgarner. Bryce Harper, and tonight Jock Peterson, and it's the difference in a very big game. Another one tomorrow. Mike Leake, Clayton Kershaw. 0-2. Bird 1 for 8 coming into the series against Jansen. Did not face Jansen, so he's still 1 for 8. Little chopper to third, a little bit of a bad hop. Turner makes the play. So the Giants are 1 out away from losing a tough 2-1 ball game. They would then fall 5.5 games behind the Dodgers. And of course, one of their frustrations, the fact that they can't get Hunter Pence into the game. The Giants are on the edge of losing their 20th game by 1 run. Crowd of 48,060. Here's Alejandro Diaz, originally signed by the Dodgers, wound up with the Red Sox, and winds up with the Giants playing the Dodgers tonight. One ball and no strikes. High fly ball. Should be easy. Crawford, and that'll do it. So the Dodgers push the Giants back a little bit more. 2 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error for the Dodgers. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the Giants. Jansen made it look easy as he comes in and makes 8 pitches. So Bumgarner loses. Greinke is the winner, and that means Zach's record here is 7-0, and he is 7-0 in his career against the Giants. So aptly enough, Zach Greinke is indeed the player of the game. So tomorrow night, Mike Leake, Clayton Kershaw, another big game, especially for the Giants. We'll talk to you then. Till then, we wish you all a very pleasant good evening, everybody.